where those who perceive truth may strive to make others see.
A big, powerful America, and shoot them for what?
On that continent, we are trying to forge a new identity for which we need each other.
I want you to imagine that you and your significant other have a child, and this child's disabled. Unfortunately, you have to depend on this life insurance to really care for this child, and you get the check every month, but up until 1 month where the check doesn't come, and instead you receive notification that the check's not coming, and there is there's a reason. Your insurance company has been sold. So, today we're going to talk about Plunderers and this concept of really king making, and this idea of the people who get your money are so disconnected from the benefits that you get in a first world society, and the degrees of separation are so extreme at this point. It really makes your head spin a lot in terms of thinking about why exactly they would get your money, and this is really. I read "These Are the Plunderers" by Gretchen Morgenson, and I think it's a lot of hard hitting points. Now, these guys. One thing's for sure is these guys have names, and we don't hear the names, and really one thing that's very much something that I'd like to see is really we all have Google Maps, or a lot of us are familiar with Google Maps, and instead of like these guys being able to hide behind a whole bunch of legal jargon on these Google Maps, like literally, like that's where you see their ownership pop up. I'm really thinking that would be just to give people an idea of what in terms of like ideas that really stuck out to me, and in terms of reading this book, not from this book particularly, but there's a focus on this guy, on this character Leon Black, and I think nobody knows his name, but everybody should know his name, because this guy is he's known for really going from commission to or board to board and finding ways to really extract money from people. People who do actual like work, and it's crazy. It's crazy how long he's survived this, and I think it's really like in terms of giving this guy a making this guy known. I think we really come closer to a lot of what happens becomes clear in terms of this element of, really where our money goes. Now, there's a lot of notes I have in this particular book. These guys are really good at controlling money, of course, and really extracting money, but also playing with the law and playing with our concepts and playing with playing in the field of politics. In terms of there was I forget it, I believe it was Garamendi. He was a good guy, but these guys got a hold of him basically. And the element is when you're a big company, saving however much money, let's say $200 million, it's nothing to give a politician $2 million, or leave a politician $2 million at the door. Definitely. And when it comes down to victims, a lot of companies don't realize it, but these guys have really made a career of analyzing businesses and being able to extract wealth from businesses. And life insurance, one, you get this promised check and somehow you find a way to to not deliver on your promise, or really just make it to where you're separated from being the one to deliver on the promise. It's of course they're hiding the fact that they do this, but there are so many families that are affected, and being able to not deliver on that promise is a real example in terms of the opening for this particular segment. There was an example where life insurance simply stopped coming, and the element was they found a way to not deliver. But these guys, they didn't stop at life insurance and insurance or life insurance in general. They went on to these guys, like Leon Black, went on to really purchase companies. The manager of your manager, and at some point they got a hold to various entities. One example was where they got a hold of a bag company that was doing quite well, and they were able to. It's literally they suck these companies dry, and the element is once they own a company, they can basically they found a way to pour debt into the company, and they can take the the new machinery, right? They that's assets to them, and they put money and they take the money out of the assets that your company has. Let's say until your company literally doesn't own anything, and they got really good at this in terms of, hey, okay, so let's say this company has five different machines to cut wood in this particular case. They know how to make money out of that particular machine in terms of, yeah, you can still use it, but somebody else owns it, and it's mind-boggling. But in terms of these guys in particular, they got a hold of some bad company, and it's called Samsonite, and they got it's sad, but of course they were definitely a victim. But it didn't stop there. It didn't stop there either. They eventually went on to medicine, and I think a lot of people just to give you some numbers, like they did a study where they called them private equity companies owning any type of medicine or like medicinal or hospital of any kind or hospice of any kind, and they found 10% more deaths in those particular places, in those particular hospices or hospitals, and it's insane. And this insanity is only like exaggerated with things like the COVID crisis, where like a lot of hospitals were backed up, and apparently they weren't prepared for a crisis in terms of the medical industry as in any way, but when they were faced with this particular crisis, there was no profit in it for them, and they found a way to and eventually they started they found a way to make money off of ventilators by renting out ventilators or something like that. But people died in those companies, and people died as a result of literally, in terms of the staffing agency and the staffing for these particular places, they're understaffed, or they're not as well staffed as regular hospitals, and they have less nurses on duty and things of that nature. And when COVID hit, it became a problem because they were looking at this as really a business, and I think really when it comes down to privatization in general, when let's say these guys own a public water in some regard. If there is, and we're in a situation now where infrastructure is you don't see the problems with infrastructure, and when it comes down to a lot of things that could go wrong with infrastructure, and when it does go wrong, these are they're failure is going to our infrastructure failure will cost money. And when these people start looking at there's this element of people being able to solve problems that are related to public health as an element of, well, how much money is this going to cost? I think a lot of us are going to really, really have to come to the conclusion of, you don't want these companies making lives into dollar amounts, right? Because really, when it comes down to it, I think a lot of these these companies are going to decide that, yeah, they'll watch you die if it means that they have to, save X amount of money. And these guys have become good. Like guys like Leon Black, they know how to extract, and they know how to stress companies out with debt, with debt that they don't necessarily have, but now they have to pay for. And they're getting good, and they're getting better at it. There's been, reports of email and collusion to keep prices low amongst these guys. Let's say, for instance, like, if there's a company, the bid, there's a lot of bid wars for companies, and a lot of these guys were known to, like, hey, look, I'm not going to spend, basically colluding to make sure that they don't have to spend, or they only have to spend so much on a company. And like I said, these guys are able to talk to, these guys are able to use jargon to make sure that no one knows their name, and to keep their name, like, off the list. Like, these guys are trying to further shield themselves from criticism, and it's important because, like, I remember one podcast I watched where this guy, he was like, I think it was Henry Kissinger. It was Henry Kissinger, and there was, like, one journalist was like, "You're a war criminal," and I'm like, there was an element of I think this was at, like, some kind of dinner, some kind of nice restaurant, and this guy, he was like, so, like, he decided to put the etiquette to the side to say, no, that's a war criminal, and I'm not gonna sit here with this piece of shit. And I think we definitely we need to know people like Leon Black for sure, and and what they're trying to do now, in terms of this element of they're modern day king making, and let me see, and they're getting good, like, dealing with a lot of these, of course, politicians in general, speaking politics, and really using law jargon to make themselves untouchable, in a sense. These guys, one thing that really came up with these guys was this element of going into a hospital and really, like, causing havoc, but really pressuring, like, this element of pressuring. They wanted to max out Medicare, and the like, to actually be able to max out Medicare, they were going for some kind of status, and they were stressing out patients, like, to meet some kind of goalposts that they set for the company, or for the hospital, and it was so it's unreal to think that would happen in a hospital. And like, I'm not sure, like, if you guys are familiar with Bernie Sanders, then you know that the concept of free healthcare is kind of Bernie's thing. And when it comes down to free healthcare, I think a lot of people think of this as, oh, this is socialism. Free healthcare is like, it's more like we're not socialist. We don't have free healthcare. And a lot of people are kind of, they don't understand that this is this idea of healthcare being free or this is like these people are able to go in and take advantage of hospitals like the way they do. They can push up, push up the cost of medicine and stuff like that because they treat us like they can treat us like a number, and it's insane. But I think the top six healthcare industries, it's taxed. It's a part of your taxes, and like this element of healthcare in general becomes more efficient for these guys because they know how much goes into healthcare, and it's not a question of like we're not gonna let companies do what they want here. They have this amount and they have to make that amount work. If it can't work, or if it, they have to then basically negotiate for more money if it doesn't work for any reason. And that's like it's huge. It's huge, and it becomes bigger when you realize that the efficiency, like we can spend more money and get less service out of that money because of this idea that healthcare is like really just an element of socialism. That is, we're going too far into socialism by providing free healthcare. There's elements where like whistleblowers don't seem to be like adequately protected, and like there's some kind of huge case where they mention a huge case where this whistleblower's case was essentially dropped due to negligence. And I mean it's like what is it, the Boeing the Boeing employee saying, hey, well, parking lots are dangerous, you don't sit in parking lots, you might decide to kill yourself with a sniper bullet or something like that. I don't know about Boeing's case, so I mean in general that's it's pretty like it's I can only laugh because of how crazy and how dark that shit is, to be like able to allegedly have your whistleblowers killed and make sure and paint it as a suicide. It's crazy. But there was some pushback from legislation, but but when I say some, I mean that like literally like some pushback, not a lot. This problem exists, and like I said, they're just getting better at doing what they do. There's pictures in the book of like this guy Leon Black, meeting George Bush. President Clinton. I'm sorry, President Clinton, and stuff like. And it's these guys are like, I think like all of them are friends, or I think we need to understand that a lot of these guys are friends, and they were able to like get around this idea of a physician or or company, only a physician-run company can purchase a hospital, and they were able to get around this, and they found a way to get around this in states that require this, and it's this was supposedly protection for some people, and ultimately it wasn't, until it wasn't, until they found a way around. Pretty crazy. Also, the there's specific mention where this price of like they controlling the price of medicine, and seems to be a tremendous, or seem to really be something that like they were really excited about in terms of like really making this healthcare profitable. And there's cases where a pill might be, it might cost like 11 cents to make, but they'll charge like $6 for it. It's absolutely insane. But people can do it. And Medicare and different health insurances, yeah, they'll make it work in terms of, and they'll like they'll do what they need to do to make it work. And it's crazy. At some point, like these guys were able to, or not able to, but they were accused of working with drug cartels, and they got off eventually. But actually, they were able to like they're able to pay a lot of fucking, like they're able to pay people in like a lot of cases, right? And the element of like what people can, like these guys paying for and being they're able to pay their employees particularly like a lot more revolving. And there is a situation where there's like a revolving door between like a lot of these companies and the agencies that regulate them. And a lot of this is a cartoon show. I'll say that. Like a lot of this, like it appears to be a cartoon show, but it's like when you think about like how like people can like the like poverty being expensive to some people, like a lot of these guys are able to essentially sit back and like not have their hand in anything, but somehow still, or not have any ability but still make money. And their ability is they know how to go in and rob, go in and rob people. And that's absolutely insane, but they could do it. And they're going into like companies like water companies, as we mentioned before, but also oil pipelines, and and really like a lot of indigenous cultures, they don't have protections from corporations like they do from governments going in and squashing them. It's crazy, but it's really like it's a thing. Let me see. At some point, like I said, they get ventilators. They like there's an element of they were able to like run out ventilators at some point to hospitals that needed it, and they made money off of it. And like I have a few notes here, but like this it gets really stark, and these plunderers as what they are, they did good under under the Trump administration, and painting himself as an anti-establishment figure, as he's really good at that. But this element of like these guys, he's buddies with a lot of these guys, and they're able to get close, and think J.D. Vance is like banked by Peter Thiel or something like, or Peter Thiel, and like surveillance is like at an all-time high right now. These are like they're able to do a tremendous amount regardless of who benefits and who doesn't. And this has been These Are the Plunderers by Gretchen Morgensen, in terms of the book review, and I will hopefully see you soon. This is Sleepy, your bookman for this report, and talk to you next time. Goodbye.